Dear Matthew Santoro, my story and yours is very similar in many ways. I have my notes written on the laptop in front of me, so I tell the story properly and coherently. Please stick around for the end if you can. I was with him for just over 9 months. He was a manipulative liar who would make me feel insignificant, and he used to gaslight me, which is a term for brainwashing psychological abuse and using false information to make a victim doubt their own thoughts, reactions and memories. It's the most horrible and degrading thing I have ever been through. I have a difficulty remembering my past as it is, but this made me doubt my every move, my every memory, and made tricking me and playing with my memories fair game. Throughout the relationship, I believed things were fine, and that the people who were warning me were lying. He convinced me that people hated us, me, and if I didn't have him to protect me, I would get hurt. He lived in an imaginary world of lies he had created in his head. A world where there were gangs and bounties on people's heads. It was a power trip. I was top of the tree, second in command, but it was a lie. We argued every night and most days. Everything was always my fault. I had a list of rules to follow. Some simple, like don't talk to that person. Some more complex. I wasn't allowed to do what I wanted. I had to tell him where I was at all times. The constant checkups of who I was with and where I were unsettling, but became daily practice. He would shame me to my face and to my friends. I had to make an entirely new set of friends because he disliked all of mine. He was excessively jealous and would go around and flirt, if not more, with other girls every day. Another thing was playful force he would use against me around others. Arm or hands around my neck, or accidental pushing or elbowing when I said something I shouldn't have said. When I said I didn't like it, he would say things, well, that's not what you said last night, or you don't mind really. He spilled his deepest secrets to me, most of which I will keep for the sake of privacy. I do have a heart. But between suicide attempts, the bullying, and the self-harm, you couldn't help but feel sorry for the boy. He had created a whole world where he was the king and no one could touch him. We had broken up once before the final time, and I was crushed. It felt like a 10-story building had fallen on me and there was nothing I could do. I had no one, no friends, no one to run to. So I ran to the people he had stopped me seeing, and they gave me hugs, forgave me, let me sit with them, talk it through with them, and they are some of the best friends I've ever had. And nothing will replace that feeling of being wanted around that I felt sitting that day under that tree with my friends. And I had thrown them away for him. The second time was 4 days after the trip I took him on for his 18th birthday, which, by the way, cost me quite a lot of money. I was given no reasons. All I had was, you were manipulative and abusive towards me, and I can't deal with you. Credit where credit is due, he was right. I was manipulative. I always have been. I'm very good at getting my own way and convincing, but it wasn't for the detriment of others. I disappeared off his radar for a few weeks, reorganised my life. Everything I saw reminded me of him, and as this happened in the summer, I was dreading going back to college. Who would I hang out with? Who would trust me now? A few weeks later, we both ended up at the same party. I wanted to speak to him, but not without others around. He bought me drinks, gave me his jacket, and we kissed. It was just how it used to be. But just because things are familiar doesn't mean they're good. I kept telling myself that. Through the calls of his friends telling me that he was a wreck without me, through the FaceTimes that I had with him to keep him sane. On induction day back at college, we spoke briefly, and I remember why I didn't want to be with him anymore. It had been a big breakup, everyone knew. We both put up stupid statuses, things about moving on, more on his part. The exchanging of stuff was another fight, in front of the whole college, and there were 2 more to follow. Screaming, shouting, throwing things in the bin, making people stare, and I got to the point where I snapped. I ran up to the college counselling office, sat down and talked that day through with her, and then had another 10 sessions. I was fucked up before I knew him, but I knew I needed it now. And things got better. I tried to warn the new girls, but none of them listened and went ahead anyway, just like I did. And then they came to me when things went wrong. I talked to them, I helped, and now I'm happy to say I have a little army of exes who are also my friends. And now we're here, a whole 9 months after it ended. And there are a few important parts I've missed out of this because I don't feel safe or strong enough to say them to the world. I still have night terrors, panic attacks. I feel sick and dizzy when I'm around him. But I found someone who's willing to deal with my anxiety, my problems, who will sit up till 2 in the morning just to talk, who wakes me up when I'm twitching and crying out for help. Thank you, Josh. You really are my knight in shining armour. And I want to thank my friends for always being there to help me, listen to me rant. And I know in the past I provoked arguments and started shit for fun. And I refuse to be that person anymore. I don't want to be. I'm happy as things are. Thank you for listening. I'm lucky to have you all as subscribers. Hopefully the next video will be a little bit less depressing. And as I read that through, I have decided that I really suck at writing stuff because that made absolutely no sense at all. But I hope you got the general gist of it. I'm a little bit too smiley to have just talked about my past experience of the past 18 months, but so be it. If anybody has any questions, feel free to inbox me to talk about it. Sorry, I've got hiccups. I'm always open to questions about it. You know, there's nothing I can do with that experience now. It's done, it's dead, it's gone. And I just feel like I needed to share it with the world to make sure that other people understand that if someone tricks you daily into feeling like you're always wrong, or if someone tells you every day that you need to tell them where you are at every single second, who you're with, if they try and control you, take over your entire life, you need to get out of there. Because it's toxic. It's so toxic. They take away everything you have. And when you finally have the courage to leave, which I didn't, he helped me in that way, you're left with nothing. You've pushed all your family or your friends away. You have no trust in anyone anymore. And you're left with the crippling effects that being psychologically manipulative and abused, even if just in a mental sense, can leave on a person. Such as you can just get migraines all the time, panic attacks. There's actually a lot of digestive system things that go wrong when you're under serious amounts of stress all the time, and that kind of shit. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal, and people try and just hush it down. It's not important, it doesn't matter. And it doesn't just happen to girls, it happens to guys too. And that's why I wanted to make this video responding to Matthew Santoro, because I watched his video about his experience with abuse, and it matches mine almost perfectly, apart from he left his abusive partner, and I didn't leave mine. So if you want to go watch that video and get a more coherent view of what really happens behind closed doors in relationships like that, then I'll link that down in the description down below. Thank you guys for sticking around if you did. Yeah, once again, open to questions and shit. I'll leave my email in the description down below if you want to email me. It's gonna be my shitty, like, spam email, because I'm not giving y'all my proper email, because that shit's for, like, interviews and uni. So you can have my shitty 2007 email, but I check it all the time, so it's okay. And I'll talk to you guys soon, hopefully, about a less depressing topic that I haven't talked over about 10 times in vague detail. Bye!